Welcome everyone to TTG's webinar with Visit Jersey. I'm Maddie Barber, Special Projects Editor at TTG Media, and today you're going to hear from a handful of representatives from Jersey's Tourist Board, as well as some of its tour operators, during this webinar, which should last around 30 minutes. We've packed in as much information as possible to ensure that you're as prepped as you can be to sell holidays to Jersey right now and in 2021. We're going to start with a 15-minute training session covering an introduction to the island for those who aren't familiar with selling Jersey. So that will be hosted by Miriam Jones, who is the account manager for Visit Jersey. And it's going to include essential information such as how to get there and how to get around once your clients are there, the range of activities and attractions available to them, and what types of accommodation they have to choose from during their stay on the island as well. We'll then be showing you a short 1-minute video, which is going to showcase why Jersey is ready to welcome visitors once again after the pandemic. And then we'll jump into a panel discussion about what holidays in Jersey will look like in 2021. So joining me in that discussion will be Sarah Barton, Head of Trade for Visit Jersey, Lydia Smith, Marketing and Development Manager at Airways Holidays, and we'll also be joined by Richard Stevens, who is owner of Seafaries, and that's a local tour operator offering boat tours and private charters from Jersey. But before we begin the webinar, I want to tell you a bit about a competition we're currently running with Visit Jersey. So the Tourist Board is offering travel agents in the UK and Ireland the chance to win a 3-night break for 2 people. The winner and their guest will stay at the Merton Hotel and get the chance to try the Flow Rider Surf Wave Simulator, and a ferry crossing with Condor Ferries is also included. So to enter the competition, you simply need to go to ttgmedia.com/competitions and submit your answers to 3 questions about Jersey, along with your contact details before midnight on the 31st of January 2021. So good luck to all those entering that competition. And without further ado, I'll hand over to Miriam to give you that 15-minute introduction to selling Jersey.
Hi everyone, my name's Miriam, and today I'm going to be spending a little bit of time talking about Jersey. So, welcome to Jersey, where we love to do things differently. We even have our own language, our own currency, our own laws, our own legendary knitted jumpers, our own famous royal potatoes, our own celebrated dairy cows, which we think make us unexpectedly independent and deliciously unique. Something that we find is worth experiencing. So today I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about what we feel makes our little island so big on spirit. Just to give you a snapshot of Jersey, I'm sure many of you have heard of our island. You might have even visited. As you can see, we have over 500 miles of walks, over 100 restaurants. We've got 24 beaches and 3 castles with a population of just over 100,000. And so what that means is we're an island destination suitable for everyone, whether that's couples, families, those interested in a short break or a longer stay. The list really goes on. And as an island, our hashtag is the island break, which means that we're more than a city break, a beach or a countryside break. We're actually the best of all of those elements combined. So whether you were looking for history, relaxation, adventure or food, you can find it all in Jersey. And that's just a few of the areas I'm going to talk about during this presentation. So where are we? For those of you who don't know, what you'll see from the map is we're actually incredibly close to France and south of Bournemouth. So Jersey sits at 137 kilometres south of Britain and just 20k off the French coast. You don't need a passport or a visa to get there. We're on the same time zone and still offer something 100% different. So if we now zoom in a little bit on the island itself, you'll see that St Helier, which is our cosmopolitan capital, is located on the south of the island, and that's also where our ferry port is. The airport is located on the west of the island, and it will take about 20 minutes to get from St Helier to the airport by public transport. Car hire is also readily available at the airport, and it's another really easy and convenient way to get around. In Jersey, we drive on the left, just like in the UK, so there's no worries there. And then just to look at some of the, if we look at the south, the east and the west coast of the island, you'll see that we have really long stretches of sandy beaches. Our entire island is actually just 9 miles by 5, which means that you're never more than 10 minutes away from the sea. We always say that we're small in size but big in personality. So how do you get there? Well, we have two really easy and convenient ways to travel to Jersey, which is either by ferry or plane. We have flights from a range of UK airports, which take on average an hour, but a lot of the time it's actually less than that. If the wind is on your side, there's barely time for refreshments. We also have daily ferries, which depart from either Poole or Portsmouth, and they offer your clients the chance to sort of bring the car if they want to, or even their dog. The ferry service varies between 4 or an 8-hour service, and the 8-hour option is overnight. Also, just to kind of let you know that all of the ferries go to Guernsey first and then travel on to Jersey. So if you have any clients that are interested in exploring the Channel Islands as a whole, that's definitely something a really easy thing to do. In Jersey, you really can choose your own island retreat. We have everything from boutique hotels, beachside guest houses, coastal campsites, or why not refresh, restore, and focus on well-being by staying in one of our spa hotels. We also have a really good range of family-friendly hotels to keep the children happy, whatever their age. So if your clients are looking for luxury family accommodation or hotels with family-friendly rooms, we have hotels with facilities including exclusive pools, aquadomes, game zones, play areas, sport facilities, the list goes on. But ultimately, there is an accommodation type to suit every family in Jersey. Or if you have clients interested in staying somewhere just a little bit different, we also have a wide range of unique places to stay, including our heritage holiday lets. So some of the properties that you can actually stay in date from 550 AD. So you can really be sure you won't find many other places in the world with as much history as a Jersey heritage let. So being an island, it really will come as no surprise that we have a range of water sports. We have everything from stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, surfing, jet skiing, and even coasteering, which has really sort of taken off on the island over the last few years. We'd certainly recommend a rib tour, and that's the image that you can see in the top left-hand side of the slides there. And that basically means that you can explore the islands just off Jersey, which is Lezecaro and Laminkes, and they're a small group of islands and rocks situated just 6 miles from Jersey. On a typical trip, you'll cruise around the reef and you'll spot the bird life, and if you're actually even lucky, you're quite likely to see seals and dolphins too. But if water sports aren't for you, Jersey is also the perfect destination for walking and cycling. I mentioned before we have 24 beaches and they're really easy to explore and enjoy. So you'll absolutely be sport for choice and terrain, whether you're looking for rugged coastal paths and cliffs or wide sweeping dunes and beaches, winding country wooded paths, or exploring the gorse and wildflowers. In Jersey, we really do have a wealth of tourist attractions waiting to be discovered. So you can explore our fascinating points of interest, including the Jersey Zoo, which is Durrell Zoo, and that kind of focuses all on conservation, or the famous war tunnels, which are imposing castles or are unique museums. So outdoor explorers will be spoilt for choice in the Jersey National Park, and there's plenty of places for families to visit too. There are numerous heritage sites to choose from in Jersey and 3 castles to explore. So you may not know, but Jersey is actually also home to Lahogue Bee Museum, which is the 10th oldest building in the world. And the Channel Islands, it's also worth mentioning that they were the only part of the British Isles to be occupied by Nazi Germany between 1940 and 1945. And visitors should absolutely ensure they make time to experience the Jersey war tunnels, which tell the true story of what it was like in Jersey during World War II. So if you have worked up an appetite from all the walking, surfing, and even potentially coasteering, don't worry, because in Jersey we have over 150 restaurants to choose from. And you may know, but we are an island famous for our food. Everything we have everything from beach cafes to chic restaurants, farm stalls to village delis. We are packed with amazing eating experiences, which will really add an authentic local flavour to your client's stay. We always encourage our visitors to try as many of the big 4 as possible, and you can see them there on the screen. It's our Jersey raw potatoes, lobsters, oysters, and dairy. So in Jersey, we actually have a really, really large tidal range, and it is the tides that nourish the land with rich marine minerals, and it's why our Jersey raw potatoes have such a unique, and some would say nutty flavour. So definitely make sure you try some of our potatoes. Also oyster and lobster. Again, it's the currents that kind of orbit Jersey that bring the shellfish, crab and lobster close to our shores. So when you see lobster or oyster on a Jersey menu, you can be sure it's locally caught. And finally, our Jersey dairy. If you are exploring any of the countryside in Jersey, you won't be able to miss the iconic Jersey cow. Famous for their rich and creamy milk, why don't you treat yourself to Jersey cream, locally made cheese, ice cream? The list is really endless. So that was just a real snapshot of the island of Jersey, but do make sure that if you're looking for any further information, you visit our consumer website, which is jersey.com, and you'll find everything on there, from recommendations for accommodation to how to spend your time on the island, a deeper dive into some of the beaches and some of our products. So absolutely check that out. We also have our consumer website, which is business.jersey.com, and there you can do things like register for our trade and media gallery, where you'll be able to kind of access all of our content for our campaigns and images. We can also share with you links to download any of our videos. Also worth mentioning our amazing social media channels. If you're looking for any inspiration or want to share that with your client, then do check it out. And don't forget, our hashtag is the Island Break. So I think now Maddie is going to close out with a video, but thank you so much for listening today.
Great, thanks very much, Miriam, for sharing that presentation. It's a fantastic introduction to Jersey, and I've no doubt that it's going to be really valuable for agents who haven't sold Jersey before, or even been lucky enough to visit the destination before. So, as you said, Miriam, we're now going to play all our viewers a short 1-minute video that Visit Jersey has put together to show just how ready the destination is to welcome back tourists. And then we will launch straight into the panel discussion, talking about selling Jersey in 2021.
In Jersey, we are ready to give you a warm welcome. Because your health and well-being is our top priority, come find peace with us, or simply reunite with loved ones again in a crowd-free environment that's just a short flight or calming sea crossing away. Just far enough to feel worlds apart, but close enough to feel assured. Because it's time to come up for air, to take your first breath with confidence, to reconnect with nature and blow the cobwebs away, to discover unspoilt beaches, dive into turquoise waters, ride miles of open roads, explore diverse landscapes, and taste the things you've only been dreaming of with like-minded people. And discover why we're known as a little island with a big spirit.
Welcome to our panel discussion in this Visit Jersey and TTG webinar. I'm joined today by Sarah Barton, Head of Trade for Visit Jersey, Lydia Smith, who is Marketing and Development Manager at Airways Holidays, and Richard Stevens, who's owner of Seafaries. So hi everyone, thanks for joining me today.
Morning.
So yes, today we're going to look at what holidays to Jersey will look like in 2021, because it's no secret that the COVID-19 pandemic has reshaped leisure travel in a big way all around the world. So I've got a series of questions for each of you. So Sarah, I'm going to start by asking you about kind of the entry requirements, because many destinations are now asking for a negative PCR test to be presented on arrival, whereas others are asking visitors to quarantine for various periods of time, while some do even still have their borders shut to tourists. But I know Jersey's borders reopened in July, but how does the arrival experience differ from the beginning of the year now? And what policies have been put in place to ensure arrivals aren't bringing coronavirus in with them?
So on the 3rd of July, Jersey opened its borders with Jersey's safe travel guidelines as set in place by the Jersey government. These actually then required visitors to the island to complete a pre-departure form, and then when they arrived at Jersey Airport, they would go on to take a PCR test, a free PCR test. And actually, it proved to be very efficient and very effective. I myself travelled over to Jersey a number of times. And when you arrive in the arrival lounge and pick up your luggage, you go through, and there's a team of medical people who will then do the PCR test for you. It's very quick, very efficient, and then you are free to make your way to the hotel. Obviously, and initially you could then go out onto the island and then explore at your own leisure. Obviously, as things have changed, the system has changed, and now what actually happens is they've introduced a regional sort of traffic light system similar to the UK. So depending where you're travelling from in the UK, you will either be categorised as coming from a green, amber or red region. And also, again, you have to still complete the pre-departure form. So that will just notify where you've been travelled to and stayed in the last 14 days. Anyone who wants to check for a visitor, if a travel agent is checking for a future visitor, they just go onto the government website, gov.je, and they would put in their passenger's postcode, and it will come up with the actual regional category that they're in. Obviously, they have to be cautious from the time of booking to the time of travelling. You know, it may change, but then within, depending on what region you're coming from, there will be different levels of quarantine. As it stands now, someone who comes from a green region would take the PCR test on arrival, travel to their hotel where they're staying overnight, and then wait until they get the first results from their day 0 test. They then, if they're staying longer than 3 nights, they then have another test at day 5 and another test at day 10. Obviously, if you're coming from amber and red, there's different quarantine rules in place. So, but it's proven to be a very successful system. There's contact tracing in place as well. And it enabled Jersey to sort of open our borders and welcome visitors to the island. Now, as we know, there's changes, you know, regular changes, and it's very important that anyone looking to bring a visitor to the island would always check the Jersey government website first before going ahead and booking a customer. So that's the priority. But, you know, it proved to be a very successful system that the government have put in place. And I think lots of people have recognised it around the world. And as an island, they took positive steps. So, yes, that's the key thing.
Okay, great. And so talking a bit more about these, this green, red and amber bands, roughly how many regions in the UK and Ireland are in, say for example, the green band, and could, you know, visit without too much trouble on arrival?
So at the moment, as it stands, if you looked at the UK, there are 316 regions in total, and different numbers for Scotland, 32 regions for Scotland, Wales there's 22 regions, and those change regularly. So normally we get an update from the government, if not weekly, bi-weekly, and at the moment a number of those regions are at 0 for green. So it changes all the time. We have another update shortly, and so, you know, that's why it's so important to check the government website to find out when it's safe to travel. And at the moment, we do have you know, some of the hotels have got a hospitality circuit breaker in place as well. So we're really looking at travel from 2021. That's the really key time that we're looking to welcome back visitors to the island again.
Okay, great. And Jersey's safer travel policy, are there any protocols within that apply to tourist activity once visitors have entered and are staying on the island?
Yeah.
And if so, what are those measures?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in addition to the safe travel guidelines, obviously Visit Jersey and the Hospitality Association with the governments of Jersey worked closely together to implement a Visit Safe Charter. So the Visit Safe Charter has been working closely with all those partners, such as Seafaries, the hotel partners, all the attractions on island, the restaurants, to ensure that when a visitor comes to an island, their health and well-being is being looked after before they even travel. So displayed in many of the locations will be our Visit Safe Charter logo. And, you know, we continue to work hard to ensure that their visitors' health and well-being is considered and they're looked after throughout their whole stay on the island. Again, if you want more information about the Visit Safe Charter, it's worth sharing information which is on jersey.com and also on our business site, businessjersey/Visit Safe Charter.
Okay, great, thanks. So Lydia, coming to you next, talk a bit about Airways holidays. How are bookings looking at the moment, and are you noticing any trends such as more popular departure months, or preferred types of accommodation, or even kind of variations in interest when it comes to higher spend or lower spend stays?
Yeah, so it's quite interesting to see what's coming through. At the moment, we've definitely got a lot of interest from people who are looking to holiday closer to home, people who are looking for new alternatives, they're searching around. We're also finding that a lot of people are maybe starting to look at Jersey as a week-long summer destination, whereas we had that market, a lot of people may have considered it as perhaps a shorter break, their second holiday, but we're definitely getting a lot of people looking at it for the summer, considering it as their kind of main holidays. They're looking somewhere to be just a little bit closer to home, but still have that holiday feeling. So our customer services team are quite busy at the moment, mostly inspiring people, I suppose, letting them know what Jersey can offer. We're based here in the island at Airways Holidays, so they're in a good position to be able to really tell them what it feels like to be here over the summer. So we've got a lot of people we've moved from 2020 to 2021. So we've still got a lot of forward bookings, people looking forward to coming for next year. And it's all about the summer, I suppose, a little bit like Sarah was saying. I think people are looking at that time. We've got most inquiries for May, June time. Summer comes a little bit earlier here, so people may be looking to start their summer that little bit sooner. And we are finding people inquiring about more 4-star product than normal, maybe looking to treat themselves a little bit. Perhaps people have managed to save a bit more money, or they didn't go on holiday this year, so they're looking forward to something a bit more special. So we're seeing quite a bit of interest in 4-star product, seafront hotels, beachfront hotels, where they really feel, I suppose, like they're getting away from everything. And we're also seeing, which is quite interesting, quite a few inquiries from family groups. So I guess families are hoping to come again together. We're also getting some multi-generational holidays, but also sort of like skip-gen holidays, grandparents inquiring about travelling with their grandkids. I guess you've seen as well a lot of stuff around the vaccination, about how a lot of people are so excited about being able to spend time with their grandchildren now. And Jersey offers a great opportunity for that. We've got some great accommodation for family units, but also for grandparents coming with the kids, some great activities they can all do together around history, but fun games and getting out on the beach and nature and outdoors. So yeah, we're starting to see some new people sort of interested in Jersey and that idea of closer to home, and different groups that perhaps wouldn't normally consider it. So it's a really interesting time, I think.
Okay, great, thanks. And Richard, coming to you, I mean, some agents might not be familiar with Seafaries. So do you want to just give them a bit of an overview of what you do?
Yeah, sure. So we do boat trips around the Jersey waters. We're pretty lucky around here to have just incredible stuff just within 15-minute boat rides. So for us, our kind of USP is the destination. So we've got islands just to the northeast, the Ecro, and then to the south, the Minkies, which is fantastic. But we can also go a bit further abroad. We can go to France, and it takes 25 minutes, or we can go to the neighbouring Channel Islands as well. We're pretty lucky. We've got something kind of for everyone. So as Lydia said, there's family groups coming, but then they could be coming with the grandparents as well. So we can fit that. We're on a boat going quite fast, so it's exciting. But like I said, the destination's the selling point, the beautiful scenery, incredible wildlife, and then historical, cultural things. We've got war tour Seafaries, sort of celebrating the island's history, talking about the liberation and the German occupation, and then further back, sort of big castles to keep out the French who are just across the water. So we have got something for everyone, and it's great fun getting out there, really.
Great. And how are your bookings looking at the moment? Are you noticing any trends? Maybe, I don't know, private charters, maybe you're getting more requests for that because maybe people want to visit in their bubble, or for any particular months and seasons?
Yeah, for sure. Things are definitely changing slightly. We're lucky in the fact we're outdoor, fresh air, so we're kind of that thing that people are wanting to do. It's good for your well-being. So the groups thing, in some ways, our hand's been forced to do some of the group things, but they're our favourite kind of trips in a way. Just you really get to be a bit more personalised with the customers, give them a tour just for themselves. So yeah, group bubbles, but also the way the boats are laid out. They're in rows, so we keep people in their rows. separate from other people. But yeah, bookings are coming in. We're looking, obviously 2021, we got a few bookings from last year, but things are looking good. People are starting to get a bit more positive. So we're really excited by it and hopefully get quite a few new customers as well.
Cool, thanks. And now I know travellers are looking to book more last minute at the moment, or maybe seeking more flexibility when it comes to date changes and cancellations in 2021. So Lydia, has Airways Holidays adapted its booking policy to reflect this change in traveller habit and sentiment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've all had to reassess to be able to help agent partners where we can in particular. We were seeing an awful lot of short lead bookings for 2020. Of course, that time's kind of changed a little bit now. And I do think we will see that continue to some extent in 2021. But at the moment, the bookings, I think, like I was saying, are coming for the summer. That's when people are looking, May, June at the moment, for their sort of longer summer holiday. So we very much are making sure we can move bookings with no amendment fee. We're being as flexible as we can with people. We do have a book with confidence promise. We did the right thing in 2020, and I would say that agents, please judge us by our actions. You know, we refunded quickly. We took the decisions very soon to be able to do that. And for us, it's about working with our agent partners. We know they've got so many different things going on at the moment with so many destinations. And I think working with a tour operator really gives the agents that opportunity now to be able to almost hand it over to let us sort out the detail so that they can then just get on with an awful lot of other stuff that's going on at the same time. So yeah, flexible bookings, no amendment fees, book with confidence. Yeah, we're here to work with the agents to make sure that any changes that come about with COVID, we can absolutely be as flexible and transparent as possible.
Okay, great. And are there any other, so aside from the booking policy, are there any other measures that Airways Holidays has put in place to make sure that agents' clients feel safe and secure travelling with you?
Yeah, so I suppose going back to a little bit what Sarah was saying about the Visit Safe Charter, we're very much working with the Government of Jersey and Visit Jersey. So we're very confident in the abilities of our partners, from accommodation providers to attractions and activity providers like Rich. So we're working very closely with partners to make sure that people can feel safe when they get here. We also are making sure that agents have all the information that they need in one place. We have an agent toolkit, so agents can go find everything in one place, as they can on jersey.com as well. But on Airways Holidays, we have the agent toolkit, all information in one place. And while information's changing so rapidly, that's really quite important. But I think one of the most important things that we're doing is making sure that in a pre-departure email that goes out to agents, they are getting the relevant information at that time for their client. Because as Sarah said, the information could change from time of booking to when the client actually travels. And of course, if things travel in the meantime, we're getting in touch with them. But otherwise, we are making sure they have exactly the right information for time of departure for their client, so they don't have to go looking for it, and it all just comes straight to them at a time when everything's changing so rapidly.
Okay, great. And Richard, coming back to you, what prevention measures have you put in place at Seafaries?
So yeah, following the Visit Safe Charter, at first it was quite a big. It felt like it was going to be a big thing, but in essence, it was actually quite simple, and it was trying to put these things in place to make the customer feel comfortable. So at the time of booking, it was making things clear what we were going to do, so they knew what to expect even before they got there. And then on the day, it's basically the cleanliness between the trips, so a complete wash down. All our boats have got freshwater tanks anyway, and then we sanitize things, all the touch points. And then when they get on the boat, it's getting them on in their rows, basically. So we actually restricted the numbers this year, depending on what kind of levels we were at. In Jersey, we had 1 meter physical distancing, and at one point, 2 meter physical distancing. So our numbers just reduced. Normally we have 12 on a boat, and so we restricted it to 10 or 11, which basically kept people in their rows, which meant they were 1 meter apart. And then at the end of the trip, sanitize everything. We got half an hour switch around, so plenty of time. And like I said, also we're outside. It was really a place that people, I think they trusted it, and they still the whole process, the experience wasn't affected in any way, which was great.
Cool. And Sarah, coming back to you, what is Visit Jersey doing to support agents selling the island in 2021? I mean, are you planning to run any incentives or fam trips or any kind of additional training opportunities that agents can really get involved with?
I think from our perspective, we recognised quite early how important it was to ensure that we had the right tools in place to educate agents and tour operator partners who are looking at Jersey for the first time about the island, and sharing this information with them. So we've refreshed our OTT, online travel training program, which is 5 modules that agents can complete. We've also recently run a series of webinars which are more in-depth information about the destination, going into the gastronomic experiences, talking about the history and the culture, and the activities that you can do. In addition to this, Visit Jersey has a wealth of amazing videos which our travel agency partners are welcome to use to promote the destination, and images as well. And yes, as soon as we can bring agents back to the island, we really would love to do that, because the best way to experience Jersey and understand it is actually to come to Jersey and see it for yourself, because no one walks away disappointed. It's an island that really surprises you all the way. I mean, we work very hard with Airways Holidays and support them to bring fam trips over during the year. So we'll be doing that when the time is right. And Visit Jersey will run their own fam trips as well to bring travel agents to the island. In addition to that, and Lydia touched upon it, I think what's really important is to bring all these tools together in one place so that they know how to find them. So we're working with TTG, obviously, and we've got our own TTG Visit Jersey hub. So lots of information about the destination is there, so travel agents can log on to that. And also on jersey.com, on our business site, business.jersey.com, we have a recovery hub where agents can find all these amazing tools, from training to the webinars to digital guides about the island, and information that will give them everything they need to know to confidently sell the destination. So there's lots of information out there. And as well, at the moment, we've got a great competition with TTG. So there's a chance to win a 3-night break to the Merton Family Hotel, which is fantastically located in St Helier, and crossings with Condor ferries. So there's incentives, and there will be more out there, but we just want to share as much information about this great destination so that they can confidently sell it to the customers when they're ready to travel.
Great, thanks. So now kind of moving on to just a few final points that agents should have on their radar when they're selling Jersey for next year. So Lydia, coming to you, is Airways Holidays introducing any new product for 2021?
So for 2021, we don't have any new product as such, but we are taking a kind of shift in focus, I suppose, a little bit going back to what people are inquiring about, what we're starting to see come through. So ferry holidays are going to be a big focus for us. People are particularly interested in ferry because of the social distancing on board, the ability to get up and walk around, take your own car, that extra bit of independence. So you're going to see a lot of focus on ferry holidays coming from us, and that's appealing for everyone from the Midlands kind of down. We're seeing people even a little bit more towards the north being interested in ferry holidays. But I think where we're really putting our focus for 2021 is in some of our unique packages. So our unique packages offer that bit of inspiration for agents and clients who might not have considered Jersey before. It helps offer it all in one place and keeps more details of a booking in one place. So if changes do need to be made or amends can be made, then we can move those quite easily for them. So for example, we have a Jersey Offshore Islands unique package that we offer with Seafaries. So clients can come over, they can go on their 3-hour rib trip and really experience the island break, I suppose, and that feeling of going out to these beautiful, beautiful kind of sandbanks and offshore reefs, and really feel like they are miles away, even though they're still so close to home. And we also have a history and heritage package, which is another one where we're going to have quite a bit of focus this year, which really highlights the unique heritage that Jersey has. So it goes a little bit to like what Rich was saying about the different levels of history. So within the history and heritage package, you can visit everything from one of the 10th oldest buildings in the world to castles, you know, and that great sort of imposing castles that we've got, all the way up to kind of the World War II history and the unique occupation story that we have here in the island. And that's where we're putting our focus, I suppose, offering that extra inspiration for a destination that people might not know all that much about. They've seen it, it looks beautiful, but you know, what else can it offer them? What can they actually experience? Because I think 2021 is going to be a lot about experience for people, where they're looking to catch up on things that maybe they feel like they haven't had much chance to do too much this year. So yeah, not new as such, but hopefully new to some new people.
Yeah. Okay, great. And Richard, Seafaries might be new to some agents, so they might be helpful to give them some tips for how to pair some of your tours to their client types. Do you have any tours that are particularly good for, say, first timers with you, or repeat visitors, or maybe in terms of maybe there are some that are particularly good for families, or some particularly good for couples that are a bit more romantic? Have you got any tips kind of in that arena?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we've got a complete range of trips, going from a short 1 hour trip to a full day trip. For sort of newcomers who are a little bit unsure about stepping on a sort of fast rib, then trip out to the Edinburgh is brilliant. It's 5 miles offshore, so it takes 15 minutes to get there. But our trips, it's when we get out there, you're sort of seeing wildlife. You get a chance to explore on foot. There's these islands in the middle of the sea, which is a very unique spot, and huge tidal ranges, incredible sandbanks. So that's a great trip. It's short, not too much ocean going time, which will appeal to some people. A great chance of seeing dolphins too. We've got one of the largest pods in Europe in our waters, and the last 2 years have been our most successful years for seeing dolphins. So that's great. So it's sort of a bonus there. We don't advertise ourselves as a dolphin watching trip, but we see them pretty much every day. So that's a great bonus. If people are looking for something a bit more romantic, a nice young couple, whatever, we do trips to sort of nearby restaurants along the coast, or even over to France for dinner. So you can have a nice day in Jersey on the beach, come meet us at 6 o'clock, and we'll zoo you over to France and then back again about 10 o'clock. So that's pretty unique. There's not many places like that you can do. But yeah, trips for everyone really. So it's an exciting thing to do.
Great, it sounds really special. And what's the best way to book with Seafaries for agents?
So with Seafaries, it's best to book online. If you're individual, you go straight to our website. If you're booking through agent like Airways, then just like Lydia says, they can arrange the package themselves. So they book all the accommodation, everything like that, and book it with us. So you can do it either way. The best thing to do is just book in advance. We got lots of trips, but we do get very popular in the summer. So it's book in advance if they can.
Great, thanks. So we're just running out of time now. So I want to finish with a question for you, Sarah. And that is, just a kind of a general overview of what, in your opinion, makes Jersey like an ideal destination for agents to sell to their customers next year in 2021.
I think, as Miriam touched upon earlier on in the training, and as Lydia and Rich have said, we consider ourselves a little island, but with a huge spirit. There's so many things to see and do. We've got a stunning landscape being an island. It's fed by the sea, so we have some wonderful gastronomic experiences. We have a history moulded over time, so whether it's going back to the Neolithic period or to the occupation of the island during the Second World War. We even have one of the 10th oldest buildings in the world, which many people don't know about, the Hoby, an ancient burial passage grave. So there is so much to see and do. It's only 9 by 5 as an island, but and the sea is only sort of no more than 10 minutes away really at most points, but there really is a wealth of activities and adventures and places to explore, whether it's the stunning beaches, 24 beaches in total, whether that's the hidden coves and walking paths or cycling, or electric bikes for those who aren't feeling so active. You can get around the island at your own pace and enjoy so many things. And obviously, being an island that's closer to home, I suppose for those who are not yet confident enough to travel too far, this is the perfect destination. It feels like you're going somewhere completely different, and it has so much to offer, whether that's for a short break or whether it's for a week. There's plenty of things to see and do for families, for couples, for the multi-generational groups. There really is something for everyone.
Great, thank you. I mean, it sounds like a fantastic destination, and yes, I'm just pleased to be able to be hosting this webinar so that agents can learn more about it. So yeah, that is all we have time for today. So a big thank you to Sarah, Lydia and Richard for joining me for the panel discussion, and of course to Miriam for hosting the training earlier. I know it's going to be incredibly valuable for agents selling Jersey in 2021. And also a big thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I hope you've learned something new about Jersey and feel much better equipped to sell the destination next year. Also, don't forget to enter the competition, as Sarah mentioned earlier, for the chance to go to Jersey and experience the island for yourself. For more information on that and to enter, you can visit ttgmedia.com/competitions. And of course, you can also find more information about Jersey at ttgmedia.com/Jersey, which is the dedicated hub that Sarah mentioned earlier as well. So thanks again for watching, stay safe, and I hope that we can return to in-person training and events very soon. Bye-bye.